But getting into Mark Murphy, bro, you spoke with him approaching a decade ago, not too long from now. And then the very first conversation per my research on you on YouTube is, when are we going to get the draft here in Green Bay? At that point in time, you can look at your face. You were just a young, spry content creator, fresh out of the classroom, history teacher, doing this thing. And you got to speak with Mark. What was that like? And you don't got to go too much into it because you already talked about what it's like with Mark. But what's it like reconnecting with him right before you go and pronounce the 7th round, 257th draft pick?
Yeah, I mean, it's special to me because like I don't have insiders with the Packers, right? Like I don't have any like, oh man, like Tom Grossi has all this pull. I don't. Like that's just the God's honest truth. And in 2015, when I started Packast, I just shot him an email to like his Murphy Takes 5, and it was on New Year's Eve. And I was like, hey, I have a podcast. Like next August, I'm going to be in Green Bay for training camp. Would you want to come on? And he was like, within the day, was like, yep, absolutely. Like we'll set it up through this. And Pat was his secretary at the time, who was awesome. She was an amazing assistant. She was just very, very kind. And it really, the first time I talked to him, it wasn't even on video because I was just doing audio only. And I talked to him for 90 minutes. And like, we just got into all about his career, how Washington, now Commanders, screwed him over during the draft and like hid him, like in these amazing stories. And we talked about the draft because at that point, like Titletown was just starting to be built. So like each year since, just about, besides like the COVID year, I've been had a chance to talk with him, and it's purely up to him. Like I shoot an email of like, hey, can I talk to Mark Murphy? And he'll be like, yes. Or like, it'll be during the season, be like, can't do it now. And that'll be that. So there was extra feelings going into this draft because I had been there doing nothing, but I had witnessed like the culmination of Titletown being built, why he wanted it built, what they were trying to get, which was the draft. And so for that to come like full circle and for Mark Murphy to tell me like I'm announcing a draft pick, I mean, it's a cherry on top of a cake that I could never imagine like happening in my life.
The cake that you blew out the candles of when you were like 6 or 7 years old. Yeah. And correct me, New Jersey or New York?
New York.
Okay, so for a pasty white New Yorker, not being funny there,
that's just true.
You're the only Packer fan in a sea of Jets and Giants, brother. How have you maintained kind of that pep in your step? Because that's something that not everybody's born with. You choose to have a good attitude every day. How do you keep going in a place that doesn't support what you're doing particularly?
I mean, it's not just don't support. I mean, I was in high school during like the 2008 NFC Championship game when the Giants like came into Lambeau with Tom Coughlin frozen ass red face. And like I was at my ex-girlfriend's house in her basement. They are all Giants fans. And I'm just sitting there silently in the back with a cheese head because her dad was like, don't make a sound because like they're diehard Giants fans. And so, like that was tough. Then they did it again, in the 2011 season, and it was the Giants again. And I was in college in New York, but I think it's just like my love for the Packers has been, it's a mix of things because they were not easily accessible. Like, I kid you not, like every time I saw somebody with a Packers hat or some kind of Packers memorabilia, like the excitement that I would have of like, oh man, like it's another Packers fan, like here in New York. And like, as you get older, you realize like there's more folks that are over here and stuff. But I think in college there was me. And then I think one other fan showed up like one time in my 4 years there. There just wasn't a ton of Packers fans. So every time I got to have any interaction with my team, and that included watching on TV, the only times that I could watch Packer games for a long, long time was if they were in the playoffs or they had a night game or they had a primetime game, something where I could have access. I didn't have Sunday ticket. I couldn't afford that. I watched Sports Center with Chris Berman, and like I would see like the highlights and talking about Brett Favre, and that was like my childhood. So I think I remember my first NFL game, and it was Packers Giants. It was when Strahan broke the record against Favre. That was my first game. I was in the nosebleeds, and that was the first time like I had seen thousands of Packers fans in one place, and I was like, holy cow, man, like this is amazing.
But for me and my producer here, Brandon, also co-founder of the dispensary, plug, why Green Bay? There's nothing here, bro. As a North Carolina native, I just moved out here from Virginia last September. Yeah. And I'm a transplant, like much like yourself is going to be a transplant.
Sure.
But I found home for work's sake. You have no tangible connection to the Packers outside of fandom and promoting philanthropy through a shared common goal, and that is Packers success.
Yeah.
Why, bro?
Like, why? Yeah, I mean, it comes out of spite, right? Because my dad's a Cowboys fan and tried to raise me like that. And I was like, nah, that ain't happening. So my Johnny sent me this hat. Actually, this is the hat from the game where I became a Packers fan. So they beat the Cowboys. I think it was 45-17. And I went into school when I was in elementary school, because at that point I'm just turning 7. And I was like, oh, I'm going to be a Packers fan. And so spite definitely started it, because I was like, there's no way I'm being a Cowboys fan. But then 2, it was just like watching Brett Favre, right? Like, and take everything else, that we know now. But like back in the day, man, like he was one of the main reasons why I got into football, and just like that's never meet your heroes. But in terms of like watching the Packers, like this was a team that I got to like sink my teeth into and actually learn. And the more I learned about them, the more I just liked them, right? The first Super Bowl that I watched of theirs was them losing to the Broncos. So I didn't see them win a Super Bowl until Super Bowl 45 when I was in college. And dude, like just not having that accessibility just like made me love them even more. And then learning about Green Bay. The first time I went to Green Bay was right out of college, because again, like I couldn't afford to go. We flew into Milwaukee, rented a car, drove on up there, and it was for a preseason game against the Chiefs. And like the Kmart was across the parking lot. There was no title town. And like just being there and even seeing, like walking into the Packers pro shop, which I couldn't afford. I had to go to Kohl's at the mall to try and get some stuff on clearance. Like that was oh man, like I can buy Packers merch, because before then, like, the internet wasn't the internet and I couldn't just like order stuff. So man, it was just, distance makes the heart grow fonder. And I just kept growing more and more fonder of the Green Bay Packers.
As a history buff yourself, no wonder you dig into a history, the most historic program in the men's league. It's where it all started.
Yeah. And it's funny too, because like when I did the international tour last year, that is one of the main reasons why people get involved with the Packers overseas, because they don't have an owner. They're very against Jerry Jones. They do not like the Cowboys, but they don't like this idea of one person is billionaire or multimillionaire controlling like this team and making all the decisions. That it is a community owned team. Like you cannot take the Packers out of Green Bay, and you can't take, the Packers aren't the Packers without Green Bay. So, I mean, it's just, you learn more about this and you meet the people. And I mean, the first time I remember vividly the first time I went to Green Bay, and I was like, holy crap, man, like this felt like home immediately. And it wasn't just because of the team, but just the people and just, yeah, man, like it was perfect.
Well, speaking of perfect, your philanthropy record has been absolutely perfect, I'd say. And looking at it from a point of nothing, like, sure, where we're at now. When I say we, this is not French class. I'm talking about you, mind you. You are almost at 1 million subscribers. The trajectory mark is about February next year.
Yeah, February,
it's not a little sooner, pending some sort of crazy playoff push. I guarantee it probably happens. Since I moved here, I've been telling everybody we're going to have a home playoff game next year. Yeah. And I was at the Strouds game last year when we did the whiteout and we won. That was my first Packer game. It was an amazing experience, dude. Yeah. I almost cried when they came running out the tunnel. As a former D3 JUCO walk-on QB myself, I had the goosebumps, I had the pregame jitters, and it was just that flood of emotions. Like, okay, I've been to a Panthers game, mind you, back home in Carolina. I've been to FedEx Field 2 years ago before they started actually doing well. There is no atmosphere like Green Bay and Wisconsin that I have found, from the sense of welcoming, as well as even if you're of the other person's team, you're still getting a handshake and have a good game.
Yep. It's the people. You saw this during the draft too, right? And this is why I was so excited for Green Bay to host the draft, not just for the city, but for people who have never been to Lambeau Field and they had access to it. Like, they can go sit in there. It is, and I know this sounds like being a homer. It's like, of course, you're a Packers fan, you're going to say this, but like going to Green Bay, Wisconsin, and seeing a game at Lambeau Field and sitting on those bleachers, and there it is, a cathedral of football. and like the history that is there, and the fact that you can go take a tour, you know, and you can go talk to Tom, who's like dad was at the, you know, met Bart, like Bart Curly Lambeau, you know, and like Bart starting to have all this history of people who have been there for so long. I mean, it's ingrained within the city. And it's so awesome if you ever get a chance. I mean, I go to a preseason game every year because I can't go during the season, specifically to be like, I just want to see a game at Lambeau just because, you know, it's such a special feeling.
I just got to chime in, Tom. Well, when you do get into town, we know a guy, we just met him. You see the Jordy right behind.
Yeah.
That's a nice Jordy.
Beautiful. I see the Jordan Love helmet too. We're rocking. I got.
Oh yeah.
That's this guy right over here.
There's a guy in town here. He's an awesome dude. And he has like pieces of bleacher and stuff like that. Like,
same.
Like,
dude, the amount of things I have from Lambeau, because you mentioned history before too. And like, as a former history teacher, it's all my jam. So like, this sits on my desk. Like, this is a piece of the field goal post from the Ice Bowl.
Yeah.
It's a tiny piece because the story is, you know, after Star sneaks it in, like the fans rush the field, they ripped it out of the ground, they take it to a local metal worker and they chopped it all up, and there's pieces all over the place. So yeah, it took a while to get that, but yeah, man, we got bleachers, we got bricks, we got a whole number of things. They're all in boxes now until I can move into the new place, but yeah, man, it's
very nice.
Well, speaking of history, what's the history behind you and the Children of Fallen Patriots? Why that organization? You're not a service member yourself. You do happen to know veterans, though. I know you've met plenty of them, especially over your time at this altitude that you're currently at. Why do you care so much about not just general, like St. Jude's, you taking care of over $500,000 for, you raised over $1 million for the Children of Fallen Patriots.
Yep.
Not necessarily why do you do community service, bro, because it's something that some rare people are born with, man. I'm not going to ask why, because you wake up every day and recognize your own position and a way to help others. But what's the true calling behind it? It's not for self-gratitude. I can tell you're a humble man. Your whole production value is right there in your basement. Yeah. And you're moving essentially to a new studio here in Green Bay West, a new home, a new beginning, but you're still going to have the same grassroots that you started all the way over there in New York.
Sure. Wow. Yeah. I mean, because it transcends, right? Like, it doesn't matter what state lines that you're in. I mean, so to answer that question, I mean, so why Children of Fallen Patriots is like, they're a great organization. So specifically that one was, they're a great organization. The 98% of their spending, and like, these are not talking points that like they gave me. They had no idea we were doing this. Like, I don't tell the charities that we're raising money for them. Like, I'll read the financial reports. I'll read the annual reports. We'll go through and say like, all right, how much money are they bringing in? How much are they spending on like what actually matters? Because there are plenty, like, you know, there are plenty of charities even that have teamed up with the NFL in past years and other big sport that are not great. Right, that a majority of the money goes to marketing or awareness, and it's not going to research, or it's not actually helping the people it's meant to help, right? And that is of no interest to me. So they check the box, right? On top of that, you know, it is something that is centered around kids. As a former educator, there's always going to be that pull of like, hey, you know, it's for education, you know, so that these kids can go to trade school or they can go to college. And they were a smaller charity, you know, they're like a medium-sized charity, and so this would be significant for them. But in terms of just like the charity in of itself, the story I always tell is when, I think it was the first year, it was either 2015 or 16, apologies for not having the exact date, but there was a guest I had on because I just interviewed fans from the opposing team every single week for Packast. That's how it started. And I was like, hey, what do you want to plug? Right? You're the guest. What do you want to plug? Social media, website, podcast, whatever. And this guy was like, I don't have anything to plug, but there's this great organization that gives service dogs to disabled veterans that helps them move around with their mobility, et cetera, et cetera. And it was 15 or 16. It didn't matter. I was on a teacher salary and like I had no money to my name. So like I gave $50 to this and was like, okay, like this is the best that I can do, but this is all I have. I want to give at least something. And so like that has always stuck with me. And years down the line, I mean, we have gotten to a point, I tell this story to people that I'm doing this right now because I just love football. I love football. I love the Packers, and they happened to choke away the NFC Championship game against Seahawks, which sent me into a spiral, but that's neither here nor there. The thing was, it's like, I just got to do this. I did this for free for years because I just wanted to do it. It
$200 in 2 years, so I read on the website.
3 years. It took 3. It's from 2015 to 2018. I made $200 on YouTube.
Just passion and Papa Grossi at your shoulder.
Was it? I just well, that's the thing too. You know, this was a passion project, and of like I just wanted to do it. If I did a podcast and then when I started doing video, if it was 45 minutes, I was rendering it on my laptop. It took 3 hours to render, and then 10 people would watch it. You know, like this wasn't oh man, I'm gonna be rich and famous. Like this was just I want to do this, and so it took 5 years of me doing this to where I started making more money than teaching in that 5th and final year. And I was like, okay, like maybe this could turn into something. And leaving, which is 2 weeks from today, it'll be 4 years that I left teaching. And I'm at this point where like I did this for free. And I took I think a Squarespace sponsor once in like 2018, a prestige auction one that they just sent me stuff, which I wound up just giving away. And then I think it was just a Squarespace. I think that was about it. And I didn't have to sell out. I didn't have to sell anything. I didn't have to tell people to give me money. I didn't have to it's a free ass show. And so for 10 years now, it's still a free show. I make more money and I can pay bills, which is kind of nice. And so in 2021, when I left teaching and I started making money, I was like, well, I need to give this back. Like I have to, right? And there was a lot of stuff going on in 2021, left my job, and divorce, the whole 9 yards. So that Christmas was the first Christmas that I was spending alone. And I was like, you know what, screw it. Like the week before Christmas, I'm going to do an 8-hour charity stream. So we picked Sunshine Kids Foundation, it's pediatric cancer, and they give like families and the kids who are suffering from cancer a vacation so they can be like kids again. They go to amusement parks. It's an amazing organization. And we raised $50,000 in 9 hours. And that was that's crazy. And like, again, I would be very clear. I have never asked a single audience member for money. I have never said, hey, donate to me. Hey, make sure you support me. None of that. The only time I have asked people for money if this is for a fundraiser, and that's it. And so since that, as soon as I logged off after we raised 50 grand, I'm sitting here in this exact chair and I go, yeah, I could raise $1 million. And so that was the goal. We did that in 3 years, and then I did it in a week. And I think it just shows like what kind of community you can build on the internet when you don't monetize your fans, when you're not trying to rip them off, when you're not trying to scam them, not trying to sell them anything. And you're just like, hey, like this is the content I make. You don't like it? That's cool. There's 1 million creators on the internet, but like this is always going to be a thing because like that's what you're supposed to do. It is charity. It's not for self-fulfillment. It's not for, oh man, like this is going to make me more famous. This is going to open up doors to the, nope. Like I've closed so many doors that have gotten me more money, more fame, what have you. And this is not a pat on the back, but that's just not what I want. Like to be able to, the fact that I get to wake up every day and go, okay, cool. This is my job. Brother, why wouldn't I give back? Like it's the greatest thing I could do.
Amen. Amen. Tom, let's go.
But like, bro, it's like, that's it. The cue, like you wake up. I've dreamed about this team since I was 6 years old. You know, we're like 28 years into this thing. And like, I love football and I get to do this now when I did it for 5 years without being able to do this full time and working 2 jobs and all that great stuff. And now this is the only thing I get to do. Why wouldn't I give back? Like, cause I'm so grateful to have this. And if my channel got shut down tomorrow, yeah, I'd be bummed I didn't get 1 million subscribers, but bro, like what could be better than spending 10 years of my life? We raised all this money for charity. I've gotten to do insane things and I got to do it in a way that like I was morally comfortable with. And like, I just uplifted people instead of, taking stuff from them.
And as a comic creative genius and owning the rights to your creative genius has got to be everything, just like a musician or something like that, not being told what to do, how to do, when to schedule. Really big things for how I like to live my life, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I can figure out right place, right time, right uniform, but don't tell me what box I need to portray my creative genes in.
I remember, and this is nothing against Squarespace. Like the only reason I took Squarespace, I got $260. I remember exactly. I got $260. I know I was rolling in it. That was the thing that happened in 2018. There's the $200. But in terms of Squarespace, I was like, oh, well, I use them for my comedy website. they're a good platform. Sure. Like, why not? I'll do this. And this was not even them. It was a third party that I was going through, but they were like, hey, you need to make this and you need to clear it with people and you need to do like all the, I was like, I don't want to do it. Like, it is not worth the $260. Like, I don't want to do it. So, yeah, that was my first and only one with them, because I have never liked, oh, well, you have to take this out, or like, this is how you have to take, this presentation out. And yeah, man, like I would just want to make the content I want to make, and I don't need anybody to have that level of freedom. Yeah. You can't put a price tag on it.
Outside of watching you announce your first draft pick, I guarantee you announce another one, so long as the good Lord keeps you alive for whatever purpose you have still yet to fulfill, even $2 million deep into the philanthropy hole. What goes into not only the production value, but 30 for 30 is my absolute favorite stream on the internet, like point blank period. I've had as a cannabis company, I've talked to my CEO, like, hey, what would it be like to smoke at 420 in every time region? He was like, yeah, not doable. But you were balls deep, and you went 30 NFL stadiums in 30 days. And number one, what were the repercussions of that? Because I'm sure the diet wasn't the best. But number two, what goes into forecasting the next one? The one that you're talking about on your website, running it back, and then donating those proceeds to another one of the great research charities that you make sure to do the research on.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, 30 and 30. So 2 years ago today, I was in Cincinnati.
That's right.
For 30 and 30. And 30 and 30 was, man, like it was the happiest time of my life. And I mean that like with my chest. So to give you some context, so I mentioned in 2021, we do this charity fundraiser in December. So we raised $86,000, I think, total that year, because I had done other fundraisers in 2021. And I was like, oh, that's pretty good. In 2022, we cracked 100. I think it was like $103,000 for various charities. I think we did like 62,000 for that December one. And then it was February, it was Valentine's Day. It was Valentine's Day of 2023. The season was, I think it was just finished, or it was just about to be finished, like the Super Bowl. I don't remember where the Super Bowl was that year. And I was in the shower. And what happened was, at that point, like Wildflower had already been a thing. The E-Saga had already been a thing, like all the creative stuff. And I had been told multiple times, and I thought about it multiple times, of like going to FedEx Field and like dressed as Wildflower and doing like some kind of bit / skit. And I was like, oh, that'd be really funny. And I thought about that for a while. And I was like, oh yeah, maybe one day I'll like hop on the train, because it's not super difficult to get to DC. But I was like, well, what if I went to all of the stadiums? I have a lot of characters now. Like, what if I went to all of them? And I was like, well, people have gone to stadiums before, and I was like, well, what if I did it in 30 days? And as soon as I had that idea, there was a few people that I called, and I was like, I know that this sounds insane, but does it sound good? Because like, I feel like it just, like, when you have like that kind of, it just hit me of, oh, this is all I can think about now. And you bring up the logistics. I don't have an agent. I don't have like the sponsor. It's not sponsored. So the only way that this was happening was if I like did it. Like, I took money and I just went and did it, right?
All your savings. Every bit
legitimately. So like, I at that point had saved up $50,000, because I've been trying to move to Wisconsin since 2021. And I was like, okay, like I saved up 50 grand, a nice like down payment for a house, a whole 9 yards. And I was like, okay, well, I'm paying for two people, because it's myself and it's Johnny to follow me around. And obviously I have to pay Johnny too.
Shout out Johnny.
Shout out Johnny Barks, of course. And I had not met him in person. The first day that we met was the first day of 30 and 30, like in person. Like, he like parked.
Yeah, was rolling.
Yep. I was like, hey man, what's going on? Like, like, we're gonna be together for 30 days. But he just said yes. Like, I was just like, hey, like, I will pay you for your time. Like, I think that we could do something crazy. And then again, like, I did not tell St. Jude. I set it all up. I just like did a DIY fundraising page. Johnny created an awesome video, and we released it during draft night. And I was like, I'm going to go, and it didn't do well. Like, I don't think it cracked 50,000 views, like, at that point. So I was like, all right, like, I'm just going to do it, and we'll see where we're at. We were at, I think, like 480,000 subscribers, something like that. And so I reached out to the NFL. There was let's just call it some miscommunication there on their part. And they were supposed to reach out to teams. They didn't reach out to teams. And so when I left, like to go to Green Bay, there were 6 teams that I got in contact with that said, yes, you can come on in.
6 out of 32, you were walking on pure faith.
That's it. And the Packers, like, again, like I have no pull with the Packers. Like Wes Hodkowitz, shout out Wes Hodkowitz, like gave me a private tour of Lambeau so I can get some footage. I wound up going on another tour the next day just to get additional footage. And like that worked out how it worked out. I didn't get into Minnesota. Detroit, they were having a high school graduation. I got to go into the pro shop for like 20 minutes. Didn't get into Chicago because Taylor Swift was there. I didn't get into Cleveland unless I bought a Monster Jam ticket, and like went to go see Monster Truck. But I was like, screw it. While they're watching that, I'm going to go film around the stadium. And like Buffalo, didn't get in there either. And I mean, there was a bunch we did not get into.
One of the most iconic stadium tours is Buffalo for you, by the way. That's amazing content you got, even though they didn't know you were coming.
We still got the scar, but it took on a life of its own. And so I tell this to people every time that 30 and 30 was planned like every day. I had the route that was planned of like, here's where we're going. But it's 2:00 in the morning. I'm planning the flight for the next day. I'm planning the hotel stay for the next day because I don't have it planned. Because so many teams either didn't get back to me or said no. My hope was as this grew that more teams would be like, oh, like we should get in on this because if anything, it is the biggest PR slam dunk in the history of slam dunks. You don't have to give me anything. Jacksonville, they let us in there for 15 minutes. Tampa Bay, they let me on the pirate ship and then said, get out. Perfect. That's all I needed. Like this boop, 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 boop. And it's about the fans anyway. So it was every night. Like you woke up the next day. We traveled, however, by train, plane, car, whatever we needed to do. We went to the stadium, whether there's something planned or not. We had a fan event. Then we had to shoot all this stuff. We had to edit the video for that night. I had to do the voiceover for that. And then I could book the hotel and the transportation for the next day. And that was 30 days straight. So it was just flying by the seam of our pants. Hopefully this works out. And I think Chicago was a really crappy day just because like it was allergic reaction. It was the first video. It had audio problems, the whole 9 yards. It did okay. I think that got 100,000 views. But the Buffalo was this is happening because jumping through a table onto gravel, and I mean destroying my back. I am gushing blood like from my elbow. It is not the bleeding goes on for many days. And the next, like sleeping for 90 minutes and then missing our flight and going, okay, it's a 6-hour and 48-minute drive from Buffalo to Foxborough. I'm going to rent a car and we're going to do this. And then I drove. I got out to pump gas once and I buckled because my back was so bad. But I was like, no, I'm doing this. Like whatever it takes. Like we did not have I would have loved to have been like 8:00 p.m. Eastern. That's when every video is going to drop. Nope. Sometimes it dropped at 3:00 in the morning. And that's just the way that it was. And like, it was just such a every day being in my basement to now meeting people. Dude, I had fan events in every city. I know people are going to show up. I have no idea. Like, I'd go to Green Bay and like every now and then I get recognized and be like, oh, you're Tom, take a few pictures, like what have you. Super cool. I had no idea if anyone was going to show up. And like people showed up and they made this happen. So it was literally the greatest. It was just joy every day. Like, yeah, there was a whole entire week. I got 3 hours of sleep each night and that was it. Right. It sucked ass, but I did that when I was teaching the final year. So like, it was all good. Every day was the best day though. The people were amazing. They were so happy to be there. We were raising money for charity. You couldn't beat it.
What goes into planning round 2?
Round 2 is just going to be more prepared. I mean, like, so St. Jude knows. So St. Jude, we did it for the first time. Then we did the international tour for them too. And like, that's where we met Pastor, during 30 and 30, and he came on for the international. And he like, dude, because the other thing we had to plan was the fan events. And like, that was a nightmare. I tried to do that ahead of time. And every like restaurant I contacted was like, no, like you have to put on a $300 deposit, like to have all these people. And I was like, you don't understand. Like, I'm just trying to give you publicity. Like, hey, we'll have a couple drinks and then we can be on out of there. And they did not get it. So for the international tour, Pastor set up like the fan event meetup places, which was so much easier. So I actually literally was talking to Pastor earlier this morning. and we're already prepping for 30 and 30 part 2. So I think just having the wherewithal of like, oh, I can get the planes, the hotel rooms, and also like the fan events booked before I even have to do a thing, like makes my life a little bit less stressful. Just a switch.
Woosah.
Exactly.
Winging it the first year to now structure.
Yeah.
To now actual structure.
Because that's the thing too, right? Like I don't know what did it, man. We had like 1 delayed flight. I think we missed 2 total. I don't think that happens on the next one. Like there's gonna be delays, like there's gonna be missed things, but you know,
Taylor Swift's going to be somewhere.
Yeah, you just got to adapt. A lot of times on the fly.
You ain't never lie. Your comedy, brother, is something that I wanted to ask you about. But before I ask you about the comedy, with the 30 for 30, how do you prioritize wellness? Even whenever you're not shooting 30 for 30, even whenever your voice is exhausted, post flower power shoot, how the hell are you prioritizing recovery outside of sleep?
Yeah, no, there wasn't. That is a thing that I just do. And like, I'll just, there was plenty of times like I couldn't eat anything. I ate a protein bar for the entire day. Is that healthy? No. Do I recommend it? No. But I mean, the talking every day, I was a teacher for 6 years, like that, it takes a lot for my voice to be shot. I'm talking every day. That doesn't bother me. I think it really is, man. Like there was plenty of days like Philadelphia and Baltimore, you know, we had the Canadian wildfires that were going on at the time. So like the outside was terrible. And like, I grew up with asthma. So like there was nothing good going on in here. And like, I just felt sick and like, didn't feel good. I didn't have anything. I tested and all that. But, dude, you walk up and there's 100 screaming people who are like the happiest they possibly could be to be there. Oh, okay. I'm fine. You know what I mean? Like that's what it was. And like, I didn't sleep enough. There was times where my body was just like, if I had 20 minutes, I was like, conk, just collapse for 20 minutes and then wake up and be like, all right, let's go do what we have to do. Lying. I lied to myself a lot of like, oh, when I get to the hotel, I can nap. That was a lie. A lie, but it keeps you going. If you just lie to yourself over and over again. But no, man, like burnout is a thing. I've been doing this for 10 years. I put out content at least 5 days a week since August of 2019. So it's going to be 6 years. I kept that entire streak all these years. But that streak will end when I hit 1 million subs, because like then I will feel like, cool, that's a goal that I wanted to do. I can check it off the box and have a nice day. So that is, my nights have been more, okay, I need to decompress. Even if it's up until 3:30 in the morning, I need an hour, I need 2 hours to kind of just like chill and just be like, all right, I need to like sit in the quiet or at least a little bit, or turn my brain off or something, because without that time, yeah, I need at least a little something to keep me going.
What's your favorite drink, Tom? Are you an IPA guy? Are you a Guinness guy?
I'm not a Guinness guy. I tried Guinness in Dublin. I went once to Dublin. I loved Ireland, was great, but I'm just not a stout guy. I don't drink coffee. So like, I don't drink coffee. I don't drink energy drinks. Like I don't have any of that stuff. I'm a big water and beer guy. So like, I love me some Allagash White. Don't get me wrong, from Portland. IPAs I like. I have no issue with IPAs whatsoever. If I was going cocktail, it's probably like Jameson Ginger Lime is probably what I'm going to rock with. You know, that got me in Ireland. And then, yeah, I can drink a lot of different beers. I'm just not a stout dude.
Is Spotted Cow up there whenever you're in town?
I like Spotted Cow. I like Moon Man better. I like
really,
yeah.
Brandon, thoughts?
I'm a big Moon Man guy. Dude, it's New Glarus. They make great stuff.
All New Glarus. Yeah, give it a shot. It's all good stuff.
Is Blue Moon associated with that brand?
No. Blue Moon? Oh, they make a good beer. Like their beer's not bad. Yeah, it's solid. Like I like Allagash White a little more, but you know, it's all good. Like that, Hoegaarden imports like Delirium. Oh, Delirium Tribal is phenomenal. Duvel, if I'm like, oh, I want to spend $8 a bottle. But yeah, that's I like beer. I like beer and I like water. Like those are the two things that I basically survive off of.
Welcome to Wisconsin. But
yeah. Oh yeah, no, I'll fit in just fine.
People from overseas, especially on your international tour, they probably ask you all the time, are you from Green Bay? Are you from Green Bay? Not yet. But you could still hold it down like a Wisconsinite nonetheless.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, listen, the only folks that I saw that could hold a candle to Wisconsinites were the Germans. Oh, they drank those times in Munich, and that was drinking that boot. Man, we closed that thing down until like 2:30 in the morning, and I was we were rocking at the end of that night. So there was a time we walked back in the pouring rain and pitch black or like some random park. And I was like, okay, we were just walking back past store. It was great.
This is my life.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
I had to wake up at like 6 a.m. to go catch a flight. Like, you know, I was just, and these are all like self-induced things, right? Like people would be like, oh, why don't you do like 30 and 60? I was like, guys, I can't do this for 2 months. Like there's no shot. And even going away for a month, like I have pets. Like someone needs to take care of my pets for a month. And like, that's a long time to leave. So yeah, man, there was a lot of logistic things that I had to figure out, but I mean, there's nothing that I would have changed from the original 30 and 30. I mean, it just every second, man, was like the best day. And it was awesome.
Well, you make my day the best day anytime I see you live on the YouTube window because I have all my notifications for you wide the hell on.
I appreciate you.
And as a member of the Grossi Posse, I gotta check in with Grossi Poppy, if you know what I'm saying.
The Papa Grossi.
Papa Grossi, correct. He looks like he's doing well. I hope he's doing well. He's not able to join us right now, but still, ever since I saw him rocking his Cowboys gear this past season when you guys were on the same cast, I was just like, man, that just reminds me of me and my dad, bro.
Sure. It's so funny too, because like our relationship was like for football was like out of spite, but like we went to the Des No Catch game, like that was one of 2 playoff games that I've gone to. That was a great ride home.
He caught the fucking ball.
Oh yeah, it was funny because the replay in the stadium, he was like, "Oh, he didn't catch it," but then we got back and like Sports Center were on. He's like, "Oh, he caught that ball." He was not happy after that. It was a blizzard on the way home too. I remember we were driving down to I think it was like Chicago. Yeah.
Well, I've got 30 minutes of your time already in the bag, brother, and thank you so much for being so courteous with it.
Of course,
as my not only my favorite YouTuber, but my favorite philanthropist online, just fucking period, bro. I'm a member of Green Gives Back. I'm a board member of that nonprofit organization. Very young, just started this year, but we're trying to do good things through green essentially and break that stigma that we've always held. Just like the players have had to deal with in the past when it comes to the likes of Josh Gordon, one of my favorite stoners of all time, Percy Harvin. Love his Florida highlight tape. Yeah. My absolute favorite stoner. But those guys being able to relax now is a big thing for the stigma being broken and the NFL just passing laws, or not law, they move some guidelines to now they'll have a
protocol for now.
A lot looser protocol with it. And it's all about wellness. And that's more or less what the channel is here. It's just about wellness. And you are benefiting not only yourself to the degree of living out a passion.
Sure.
You are benefiting others that cannot do for themselves. Whether they've lost a parent, whether they're St. Jude's, the dog organization providing veterans with dogs that they may need for service needs. You're an overall testament, brother. One of one in my book, man.
I appreciate that, man. I mean, I put it this way, right? If you woke up tomorrow and you had 856,000 subscribers or whatever we're at now, right? And you had this platform, I think you would do the same, right? Like, I think that's and this might be the teacher background. It probably is, but like this is not a willy-nilly of like, oh, look at all I've done now. This is I have a responsibility that people are giving their time, their money, their attention, what have you. And so it's my like responsibility to do right by them, right? Like I have been a broke high school kid, broke college kid, broke post-college graduate. And like, if I was to say, hey, buy these crappy earbuds that I know don't work, but it's just gonna be for self-enrichment that I'm gonna make more money. And then that kid goes, well, I bought them because I trusted you. And now these are garbage. That's on me. Right. Like, so that's how I view it. So I think that there's a responsibility for people when they are in these positions to give back. And I will be the first one to say, like, I don't think I do enough, in terms of just like, we have done plenty of charity stuff, but like even that stuff, when we did the Million stream, like I was like, these are regular everyday people. Like there were no athletes, there were no teams that were donating, large sums of money. No corporations were donating a big chunk of money. It was literal grassroots for a week until we raised $1 million. And that's what 30 and 30 was. Like, McAfee donated 25 grand. I'll always be thankful for that. Don't get me wrong. And like the Steelers, they donated $1,000, and there's a bunch of teams that donated jerseys to be auctioned off. But we raised $512,000, and 26 of the $1,000 that was from a celebrity / a team. the rest was everyday people. The rest were like kids come up and be like, here's $2 for St. Jude. So it's that kind of like commitment to this, that the only reason I would take like a sponsor like would be to sell something. And that is just giving me more money. And listen, money's nice. I'd like to retire one day. It'd be really nice, but that's not my goal. I would rather like have a platform that I did right by people and was comfortable with morally, professionally, the entire step of the way. And if it goes away tomorrow, man, like what a way to spend 10 years.
God, Brandon, this dude gets me fucking all the way, bro. And I've been watching from afar. I'm talking to Tom Grossi right now.
Yeah, it's what you're supposed to do, though, right? Like it's like you're supposed to help one another. Like we're supposed to like be there for people. Like that's the whole point of this. Otherwise, what are we doing? You know, like there's no point otherwise. So, yeah, man. Like it's
everybody tends to be fighting for a bunch of stuff they can't take with them when they die.
Yeah, like listen, like I got a bunch of crap that I can't take with me that I've just accrued over the years. Like eventually, like it's gonna get given away or it's gonna like go to charity, like what have you. But yeah, man, like I have just been so fortunate and I've worked my ass off. Like, don't get me wrong, like this has been 10 years of work, especially the last 6. It's just grind. Because you mentioned Papa Grossi. I know we're going over. It's fine. I cleared something until 6. So if you want to go, still.
I'm good if you're good, bro. I just didn't want to impose. Yeah,
no, you're good. It like this was I did not have support doing this. You know, like this was like Papa Grossi was a very, hey, like you can quit your job when I'm dead kind of thing. Yeah, no, it was a very nice. And he liked this. Like, don't get me wrong, he liked coming on the show and all that stuff. But he was very concerned because when I left teaching, I lost my pension, I lost my retirement, I lost my healthcare. So like I lost all those things. And if this goes away tomorrow, it goes away. You know, so for him, it was more of like out of fear, like, hey, he's very traditional, like, oh, you work for this amount and then you retire and all that. So, yeah, like this was just build, you know, and just like grind every day. Nobody's watching. All right, man, I love to do it. That's fine. And then when it was like, okay, this could be a job. Oh, this is my job. Well, I'm going to work harder than I've ever worked before. And this is going to consume my life 24/7. And for a good many years, that's what I did. You know, and it's still, there's a good chunk of it today. But like now I think it's, I don't know, after the million stream, man, after the draft, like I want a gold play button. It's a piece of plastic, but like it means a lot to me. And it's a matter of like, I'm good. You know, like that's the last goal I have on YouTube, and I'm not leaving YouTube because I still want to just do this because I enjoy doing it. But it will give me like, it's a Tuesday in July. I could take a day off. Because I haven't taken a day off in 6 years.
Right. And as many takes as you have to do, which I'm curious about the number of, especially for Flower Power. How many takes does it take on average for you to get the crispness of the delivery of the punchline? And how many punchlines are you writing for every, not necessarily every, but most comical or most situational ending games? Like how many of those fucking scripts do you generate per before you find one that you're like, okay, this is the one?
It's a great question. So it depends on the video. So if it is a reaction video, let me be very specific here. Season reactions are different. That's a whole different beast. If it's Brock Purdy Jair Alexander just got released.
Yep.
Right. That video.
Watched the video yesterday.
Yeah. It's one take. It's improv. The whole thing is improv. I literally turn on a camera and every reaction video, post game, every reaction video that is based off of a trade or some kind of movement of personnel, it's all improv. I have a background in improv. I just need to know everything about what's going on with the team, how fans are going to feel. So I'm constantly interacting with every single fan base. So that's all improv. Scripted, let's take for example, scripted is scripted. There's some fluidity with that, but that's written after GPS on Monday. So that's usually written from 1 p.m. Eastern. If I'm lucky, it's written until 3 p.m. Eastern. I then have to record it, which takes about 2 hours, so about 5 p.m. Eastern. Then I have to edit it, which takes until about 7 p.m. Eastern. I put that out, and then I do every fans. So every fans is all improv. I record that. I stream Monday Night Football. Once I know Monday Night Football, I record the last 2 teams for Monday Night Football and put that out. So that's the only way I make it work is I can't write scripts because like for those things, because it would just take too long. So scripted, it's scripted, coach, that kind of stuff. That's all scripted. But yeah, everything else, it's just got to be on it.
fucking comic genius right here.
It's just knowing stuff like that. Like, it's not like I need to know when like Dolphins fans are pissed off that an O lineman like got released, right? That like no one's ever heard of, because the amount of like the Packers are, even though they're in the smallest market, they are like a huge market, right? When the Packers are on primetime, they get 4 or 5 primetime games every single year, but the Titans don't. And when the Titans, I'm featuring them on a video, the bare minimum is I'm getting them accurate, right? Like I have to at least be able to capture their fan base, because otherwise I can't sit here and be like, this is what a Titans fan feels like. That ain't right. So
no, well researched.
You have to be, yeah. To do what I want to do. Like, listen, like I really appreciate like you're a fan of the comedy. Like there's plenty of people who do not like it, which I get it. Like that's cool, right? You know, like whether it's the style of comedy or they're just like, hey, this looks like super low effort. I get it. Like it's totally fine. Like sitting on my couch and recording a reaction video is easier for me because I've done all this prep work to make sure that I can sit on a couch and I can do this. But yeah, man, like it's I want to make the content that I want to make, you know, and I think that once I have like, I can't wait to have an opportunity to like have rest and then do like things, because like that is just be able to unplug and be like, okay, like let me actually craft something. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that at some point next year.
Oh, Millie.
Yeah, once we hit that, man, it's gonna be. I mean, I definitely that was a goal I failed. You know, like I definitely wanted to get it at this house. I mean, like this spot here literally has been empty for 5 years almost, waiting for that gold play button. And you know, we won't hit it here, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, every other goal I've ever set out to do on this channel, I hit. I had $50,000. We raised it. I go, okay, I can do $1 million. We raised $1 million. That was in 2024. And then I was like, okay, we did it in a week. So 2.2 million. Cool. Like we're what else could I do? You know what I mean? Like, and there's still gonna be fundraisers. There's still gonna be like all these things, but I don't feel that, oh man, like I have to accomplish this now, you know, cause like, there's just intrinsic goals, you know, like there's no reason for me to put out content 5 days a week in July. There's none, like, unless I, you know, to make money, which is nice, you know, so I can buy things. But yeah, it only is for this arbitrary streak that I created in August of 2019. And it morphed into, well, I'm going to literally put out content every single day until I hit 1 million subscribers. So
you're well on your freaking fracking way.
Yes, we are.
Before you even hit 1 million, you got to announce the 7th round draft pick, bro. What are you talking about? Yeah. You don't want the journey to end, because who knows what this season has in store for us. Yeah.
No, and I am the worst marketer of myself, you know, like because I don't put any money into it. I'm just like, nope, I want to make content. I don't want to be sitting here doing paperwork. Like I don't want to be sitting here being like, oh, let's do these No, I just want to make content. So I think for me, the draft was and I've said this a few times now, and I mean it with my full chest. If I never do anything again, I'm good. Because for not only the announcing the draft pick is cool, don't get me wrong. Like that in and of itself, I probably could have done that in Detroit. I probably could have leveraged the fan of the year thing and been like, hey, like I know other fans of the year have been able to do it. Like, could I do it? But once I knew it was in Green Bay, I was like, no, I'm not going to do this Detroit thing. And if I'm not able to do it in Green Bay, that's fine. But if I am able to do it in Green Bay, to see the course of 9 years, Titletown, the Resch Center, and this city getting ready for the draft, and then all the people who are just like, oh, it's gonna be terrible in Green Bay, not a lot of people are gonna go. And I knew it was gonna be special. I knew it was gonna be a logistical nightmare, but I knew it was gonna be special. And to be able to stand on that stage after 10 years of work, since I was 6 years old, loving this team and wishing I could be at Lambeau Field, wishing I could be in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and now I'm here, you know, and just like to be able to do, like, I got goosebumps right now, like that. It is a highlight of my life that like I will never ever forget.
It's what you were born to do to some degree. Which home Packer game this year, if you had the opportunity, would you be looking forward to most attending?
Ooh, they're playing the Bengals at home, right?
I believe so. Yes, sir.
Bengals should be crazy. You know, Steelers, I wish it was in Lambeau, especially now, because that would have been something. Yeah, that one's in Pittsburgh for Sunday night. But yeah, I feel like the Lions home opener's got to be crazy, just because both teams are going to be they're going to be looking for that win. But yeah, I would say the Bengals are going to be crazy. You know, last time we met with them, that was like all those missed field goals, you know, that went into like overtime. So that was, that'll be pretty nuts. But yeah, the Lions, God, I'm very much looking forward to that game. That is going to be a great home opener. That's going to be the Eagles, though. Monday Night Football.
I'm about to say the Eagles on Monday Night Football is an opportunity to smack the champs in the mouth.
Oh, and they're gonna be pretty pissed about that tush push thing. So it's gonna be a little extra pepper added to that one. But you know, it's prime time in Lambeau, man. Like you can't beat that.
I don't think there is beating that when it comes to the realm of the men's league at all.
No. So no, it's phenomenal. So I'm excited because like this will be the first year that I don't have to scramble to try and get a source for the Packers games. I could just turn on my TV and get them. That'll be very, very nice. But it also just like allows like I can visit Green Bay like whenever I want. Like I can just be, and I've just wanted to be in Wisconsin. So yeah, I'm pumped, man.
If you're allowed to share, what parts are you moving about?
So it's near Milwaukee. So like to get to Green Bay, I always used to fly to Milwaukee, and I just spent a ton of time within the city and was like, it's a walkable city. It's a smaller, like, I love it. The beer is everywhere. The Riverwalk is dope. Yeah. So like it is, it's like right around Milwaukee area. So it's about like an hour or so away from Green Bay, but like you just hop on the highway and you're there, you know? So it's, I can't wait, man. I can't wait.
Well done, man. Coming this summer, or are you coming in the fall time?
Yeah, no, definitely not fall. So I am going to be in there by the end of July. So like I have to film stuff here. Like I have to finish coach here. So like I need to do that here and then I can move. So we're in the midst of doing that and trying to finish that. And then yeah, by the 31st, I'll be in there.
Oh my goodness. I am looking forward to you being, as much as we're going to miss having the opportunity to get that plaque here on the wall. It's something greater
First
than
in the new house. We can do that. We can make that work.
Come on. That's what I'm thinking.
Make that work. Yeah, man. And that's the thing I've said too, is like once that's done, like not having to worry about subscriber number ever again is kind of nice, because like I don't want 10 million. I don't want 20. Like I don't know. I just like, I want that. I did it from nothing, from zero to that. Cool. Like I did it. And it's good enough for me. I didn't have to pay for it. You know, like I didn't have to market it. It's just pure grassroots. And I mean, like, it's just, I was talking to the Discord today, like the community that is here. And like, I know that you've spread lots of compliments of like being philanthropic and all that, but like people are so a part of this. And this does not happen without people going, oh, this is a worthy cause. This is worth my time. This is worth my money. This is worth my effort. And like, that's why it's always given back to the community, man, because it's just regular everyday people who are like, here's $1 for, you know, fundraising. And like, I would put us up against any other community on the internet, man. Cause like, just, we don't have 1 million subscribers, and to raise $1 million in a week is absurd.
Absolutely.
You know, like it's just, it's wild, man. Like it's truly something special. The people in here are just, they're so awesome. I've met thousands of them, and, yeah, like every single time, man, like I'm just blown away. We did the December fundraiser where my goal was $100,000. It took 13 hours, right? Which is insane. And then we did it in 2 hours and 13 minutes for the Millie stream. We hit $100,000. Like, that's it. Like, and it's just very transparent. It's a teacher in me of like, I don't touch money. It's through YouTube or it's through their exact site, because like, I think that's just I go overboard to make sure like it's insanely transparent. But I think that's what people need too. Like on in the internet where we are right now, there are creators that like will take charity money, that will like not do the greatest things. And I think that it's just to give that reassurance and of, hey, like if I'm going to put my name on a charity or like an organization, they gotta be good. You know, like we're not going to hear stories of embezzlement that's going to come out, you know, like that. It's like, no, like I'm reading through your documents. Because again, it's the same exact thing with headphones. I can't recommend, hey, give $5 to this charity, and they're not good. That's
one of my favorite catchphrases of yours, bro. 50 for the kitty.
50 for the kitty. Boop. There we go. A little boop.
One of my favorite things to do is to donate whenever you're live, man, because how far you go to make sure every comment is acknowledged, even whenever you come back from a pee break or you come back from a point that you were making. Sure. Your dedication to your viewers is something that I feel genuine, like through the fucking screen.
Yeah, man.
I feel that through the screen. and it's tangible, and it's something that I pray never changes.
Dude, it's a matter of like, I also grew up in the 90s, man. So like selling out is a thing. Like I know I don't, one. And then two, this is a true story. Like Google and YouTube have done case studies like internally. They've sent them to me on my channel because they're like, how do you get so many super chats? Because the super chats for like the fundraiser donations are also up there too. So that's like incorporated. And the way that they have used language, it's like a robot talking. It's like Tom actually like has a conversation with his viewers, like it's in like IRL. And I was like, yeah, it's called talking to people. Like there's no secret formula. There's not like, how does this guy do it? You donate me $5. And again, I also read the non-donated ones too, right? But like you spend your hard-earned money to ask a question about the Packers secondary. What am I going to be like? Oh, no, screw you, man. Like, what are we doing? So like, it's like, these are very common sense things. And like the person that you get on here, this is not a character. This is not nope, I'm the same ass person like you're going to meet on the street. So yeah, like you give everybody the time of day. Like, why wouldn't I? You know, like every single fan event for 30 and 30, everybody gets a handshake. Everybody gets a picture. They want an autograph, they get that too. Like, but it's free. That's what it's supposed to be. Because I wouldn't be here without people going, all right, this guy's all right.
I agree with what he's saying. It's comical. It's my kind of thing. I like it. I dig it. And it's not for everybody.
There's a difference though, right? There's a difference between I like this guy talking about football to I'm going to give this person money to I am going to support his fundraising endeavors, and people get $1 million stream. People came together and like who never met before and donated $28,000 total. Like it literally came together and were like, okay, like we've never met, but we're gonna make a joint donation together. Like that does not happen. So like there's a big difference between, oh, that guy, like when I can't see the Packers, he's doing play-by-play, to like, I am going to support this. There's a really big difference. And I think like the Friday Q&As are a big part of it. Like I do those every single week to make sure it's like touching base with the community, like what's going on. And yeah, like I'm just me, like I'm just plain old me. So like that ain't going to change. You know, like I got to do all this without selling out. I sure shit ain't doing it now.
How about a housewarming party fundraiser whenever you do make it to town? You know what I mean? Maybe pick a bar that you want to sit at, and me and some of the casting come, and we can raise some dollars for not for you, but for another organization, and or just St. Jude again. Keep that ticker rolling.
The nice thing is too is like what I hope this eventually turns into is doing like fan events and having it be like picking up trash on the side of the road, or like going to volunteer at like a food kitchen, like, you know, just something where you could like, yeah, I'll shake your hand, take a picture of the whole 9 yards, but like, let's actively go out and do something for the community. And that's what the Big Brothers Big Sisters thing was, because there is a good amount of guilt that is in here too, of the money that we have raised has come from regular, everyday, normal people. I love that. However, there are people / organizations / corporations that have a significant amount more of resources that I would like for them to like, and it doesn't have to be through my thing, but like just try to incentivize them to give back, you know, who have more than regular everyday people. So like, yeah, man, like that's why I go above and beyond to make sure that it's a good cause, because I can't ask someone to donate their dude, money is hard. Like it's not fun times right now.
We all struggle, maybe. We all struggle.
So like, you know, and some more than others. So I think like that's always in the back of my mind too, of like, hey, that's why this is always going to be free. Always. Because like, that's what it's supposed to be. You're a broke like a broke college student, broke high school, or you just don't have money to watch Sunday Ticket or ESPN Plus or all the cajillion streaming apps you need now. Don't worry, I'll be streaming the game. It'll be free.
I honestly prefer to watch your stream of the game than the actual broadcast of the stream.
Yeah, the podcast is really good.
Mind you, I might have the game on, but it's muted, and I've got Grossi on loud because I prefer to listen to your take, your coverage of the game, and even your interactions with your audience base, because Joe Buck ain't talking to me. Troy Aikman ain't talking to me. You know what I mean?
No, and I mean, besides the quality of the broadcasters is so good now, but yeah, I didn't know that was going to turn into a thing. Like, I didn't know that we were going to, that 49ers game for the division round, we had over 50,000 people in there.
It's bananas. Absolutely bananas. I love being a part of that 50K, man.
Yeah. It's awesome, man. So, and the amount of people who have gone over and like have done great things like in the name of chaotic good and giving back to charities or doing volunteer work or even just meeting people, like it is a legit community, you know, and people are so over the top kind. And like, man, it's just, that's all you could ask for. You know,
what else you got written on that piece of paper, man, that I haven't asked yet?
Oh, this is I actually, here, we can break news. So the USA Games for the Special Olympics reached out to me. So they are in Minnesota next summer. So I'm going to be an ambassador for the Special Olympics. So that's going to be super duper fun. I'm going to hope that I'm going to have to make the schedule, but I'm going to have to do for 30 and 30. I'm going to hope to be in Minnesota at least while the games are going on so we can highlight them as well. So yeah, it'll be dope, man.
The planning for that, I look forward to seeing the execution. Just hearing that behind the scenes and all the shit I deal with in shipping and receiving. Wow, number one, and good luck with that. And number three, shout out the Special Olympics.
Yeah, man.
Big time, brother. Those are actually very fun to be a part of. I got a chance to do one of those locally back home in my hometown. Yeah, ain't no atmosphere like an atmosphere.
Good, like it's
just man, having a day.
Yeah, have the greatest day ever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hell yeah. Like that's what it's about, man. Like just giving kids joy. Cool. Great, man. Like it's awesome. So yeah, I mean, we have to schedule around the World Cup, which is going to be interesting, but it'll make work.
Oh my God. I don't even want to think about that.
Nope. We'll see where we're at next year. But no, man, I appreciate you having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you for all your time, man. You've 30 minutes longer than what I originally asked. I like you said, you're a man of the people. That's the only reason why I wanted to talk to you, because you're Green Bay relevant, you're a man of the people, and your core values exceed those of the average, normal, everyday person, in my opinion, brother. Thank you so much for your service to the community. Thank you for your service to me and the Packast and the rest of the Grossi Posse on a weekly freaking basis, bro. I look forward to seeing the post-production edit and all this, man. I'm going to cut you a wonderful intro, but I love you so much as a content creator, but I also love you as a sense of a man to man. Thank you for taking responsibility for your community, brother. That's something that we take serious over here in Green Bay, as you know, but even as an internal company, the dispensary, we take care of our communities that we serve.
Yeah, man. Like, that's the best thing that we can do, like caring for other people and care like that. Yeah, man, like empathy. I'm a very empathetic person, but like yeah, man, it ain't a flaw. Like it's just caring for people and how they're doing, and it matters. So that's it. That's the only thing that survives this. That's it.
Random tidbit about you. What song are we listening to get pumped up on a regular day? What's a good song that we go to get pumped up to, knowing they can throw us in that flow state almost?
Dude, Game Day is Green and Yellow. That's easy. You know, it's better than the last one. So that one's easy. But dude, I'm a big wrestling fan. So like they're on some like wrestler themes, and like I'm nerdy enough to rock out to that, man. But yeah, I mean, if we want to get down into it, Sabbath is always up there. Throw on some Iron Maiden. I'm rocking. We're rocking. Throw on Rise Against.
That's what I'm talking about.
Come on now. We're rocking. But no, thanks for having me, guys. This is great. I really appreciate it.